part of my life that I'm going to find really, really difficult to share with other people. It can help people that may be going through the same thing, and it may offer perspective for people who haven't. And that's the only reason why I'm recording this. So Will and I have been trying to conceive and start our family after about 12 months of getting help from our GP, and nothing was really working for us. We were referred to a fertility clinic to see a specialist, and over the past 2 months we've been doing a lot of blood tests and ultrasounds and scans, and we've just been told now that we've got a few factors affecting our fertility, and time really isn't on our side. It turns out that I have premature ovarian aging, so the age of my ovaries are a lot older than my biological age. I know that I also have a history of endometriosis, and Will has a factor that's affecting our fertility as well. The doctor kind of said that his goal was to help us conceive without having to go through something invasive like IVF, but it turns out that it's really our best option now, and if we had waited another year or two, then our chances could have really been slim. It's hard to feel like there's not something wrong with you. It's hard to not feel lonely, like you don't have anyone to talk to about this. And I don't think anything in life really prepares you for the financial and emotional effect of something like this, because your whole life you're kind of taught to avoid falling pregnant, and it seems like something that happens so easily for people that nothing really prepares you for this.
At 0. Now I have to turn it to 225. Fresh needle in here. That's what the needle looks like.
So last night I had my first injection, and honestly I thought I would be fine, and I don't know what happened, but last night I had it all set up. Will was sitting on the couch next to me just on standby, and I thought I had it handled. Counted down to 10 and took out the needle, and I realized that my dosage had not gone down back to 0. So because I tried to get it over and done with and I didn't really want to look at the needle, I didn't do it correctly, and I had to remove the needle and give myself a second injection. Put the second injection in. I looked at the counter this time, made sure that it went down to 0, and it actually took a little bit longer than I thought. So I think in my head I kind of freaked out a bit as well, like, oh my gosh, it's taking a lot longer than I thought. When it finally got down to 0, I had to count another 10 seconds because the nurse said to keep it there for another 10 seconds when you're done. And as I was counting down to 10, I could feel my heart beating really fast. I took the needle out, I looked down at my injection site, and my vision was a blur, and I kind of stood there woozy for a bit, and I said to Will, please come give me a cuddle, I need a hug. And luckily he came over because I nearly fell over, so I think I was about to faint, had a mini panic attack and nearly fainted. But honestly, it sounds much more dreadful than it is. The needle is actually fine. I think it's more of like a mental thing. So I see how I go for the next few days for injections, and then hopefully my blood test and ultrasound will tell us what to do next. And after that, I'll be starting to do 2 injections per day. But I'll update you when we get to that point.
Yeah, most places.
So tonight I'm going to do my regular injection, and I start the second one as well. That's what the needle looks like.
Shake.
Okay, go sit down, I'll pick up.
I was managing everything fine up until this point. The first injection actually doesn't really hurt. I think it's more of a mental thing that you have to get used to. And the second injection I thought would be the same, but the needle seems to be different. It's a bit thicker, so it's harder to do it. And on top of that, there's like a bad stinging sensation that I get inside my stomach afterwards, and I just have to lie down and it takes me a little while to recover. But the next morning I wake up bloated, and I realize like when I try and do things like open a jar or lift something heavy, that my stomach just feels like strained. I guess everyone has different side effects and these are just mine. Hopefully I manage the rest of the process okay.
It's not about me.
It's done.
Yay!
So this is where I've had to do my injections around the lower belly area. The first injections have been on this side, and then the second injection I've saved it for this side. The first injections have been fine. You can see from doing both I've been getting really bloated, and then on this side here it gets red and raised after the injection as well. It just feels really irritated, feels stinging. This is the trigger shot, my last injection before egg retrieval. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's done.
It's done.
It's done. That one stings as well. But I think that's enough.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it again.
Well, it says 0 on that. I say 0. It's done, though.
It's on there, right?
I'm the Uber driver.
It's the morning of our egg retrieval day. Remember bay 12, you're gonna come pick me up here when I'm done. The procedure wasn't so bad. I've just been resting at home now. I feel a little bit like bloated and crampy in the stomach. So in terms of pain, it didn't really hurt. I was under twilight anesthetic. I just felt like a little bit drunk and dizzy.
You laughing or crying? I don't know.
No, I just one tear. And there was a little bit of pressure where he was retrieving the eggs, and probably like 2 instances during the process where there was a little bit of a pinch, but it wasn't too bad at all. And before you know it, it was over, and now we just wait for the news.
Well, I've got excellent results for you today.
You do?
Yes, everything's fertilized. Yes, full fertilization.
Oh my gosh. Everything?
Yes, everything. So we did 2 eggs for ICSI were 100% fertilization, 2 out of 2, and the 3 eggs that were IVF were 3 out of 3. So we can't do any better than that.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. This is how many eggs that have been fertilized.
5.
All 5 eggs fertilized. Oh, wow. If I could choose, I would do the other ones in the morning so that I wouldn't be counting down close to that time every night thinking, oh, it's nearly time, it's nearly time. So today is day 2, and I can actually go on this portal to see the embryos. So I have 5 embryos and each of them are here, and I can keep track of them. So I can actually click on an embryo, and this is the photo, and here's the video, so I can see how they're developing
which is so crazy. It's actually really cool.
Okay, so just calling with your dates to be updated by embryos. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The two ICSI fertilized embryos are doing well at the 6 cell and 10 cell stage.
Okay, that's good.
And then of the IVF ones, one of them is low at the 3 cell stage,
Yeah.
but the other two are doing okay at the 5 cell stage. I mean, it is hard to say. We don't expect all embryos to get to that blastocyst stage, but I think having 4 which are on track, I'd hope that at least 1 or 2 would get to that blastocyst stage.
Okay.
So I think it's fairly sure that you'll have a transfer, but it might just be they're not ready for freezing on Sunday, and we might have to wait till Monday to see if they progress.
Okay, that sounds fine. That's good.
Right, well, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Puppy! Puppy!
So my skin has just been so bad. It's been red and itchy, and I think it's just how I react to all the hormones that have built up, but oh well. So our embryos have changed quite a bit since last time. Are you excited?
Make my way downtown.
It's our embryo transfer day.
To the other embryos that you have, the other 4, they haven't really progressed much further from day 3.
Okay.
So they're all at the cell stage, so between 6. So one of them's a 3 cell, 2 is 6 cells, and 1's 8 cells. So that's quite slow for day 5.
Yeah.
So the next check will be tomorrow. So we'll still look at them tomorrow and see if they do develop further to be suitable for freezing or biopsy.
So we basically have the one embryo that's looking good, which is going to be transferred today.
Correct.
And the other ones we just don't know yet.
Yeah, I would say they look, because they haven't changed very much from the last 2 days.
Yeah.
For them to progress further by tomorrow, I would say it's quite unlikely.
Okay.
But we still check, and I've seen embryos sort of transform overnight, so we'll see how we go.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Locke will be here soon. Once he's in, we'll do the transfer.
Okay.
Okay.
I recognize embryo number 2 because of that little dot.
The process was actually really fast. So the doctor came to see me and he took me to the operating theatre. The embryologist showed me the embryo and I recognized it as embryo number 2. When I laid down, they put an ultrasound on my belly so I could actually see the embryo going in, and the doctor was talking through everything as he was doing it, and it was pretty cool to see the embryo on the screen. It just looked like a bright star in a dark night, so we're hoping that that's the miracle embryo. And now I just wait 2 weeks to do a pregnancy test and just pray that it is a baby and that it implants and that it makes it to full term. It's only been a day, but I'm already talking to my belly as if the baby is there, and I already feel attached to it, and I feel attached to the other embryos too. So we had 5 embryos altogether, and the one that was transferred yesterday was embryo number 2. We just got a call from the embryologist before, and she said embryos 1, 3, 4 and 5 haven't made it. So they've stopped developing, which means that none of the other embryos will get to be frozen for another embryo transfer. So if we needed to go through this again, then I just have to go through the whole process again of the needles and the blood tests. So in between the bananas and the coconut water is our Ovidrel. See that little red dot? Yeah. I think it's cool.
My baby.
This is 6 days now since the embryo transfer, and honestly during this waiting period, minutes feel like hours and days feel like months, and I'm just counting down the days until we can go back to the clinic so I can get a blood test and figure out whether or not the embryo has successfully implanted and I'm pregnant. So in the meantime, I'm just talking to the embryo and giving him or her like well wishes and hoping that they're settling in. I'm trying to not spend every single other moment thinking about it and Googling my symptoms, because that's really not going to do me any good. I just need to spend some time with family, doing things that make me happy, and yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, which is probably why I haven't really picked up my camera to say anything in the past few days. I just need to get out of that frame of mind and stay positive, and fingers crossed. I don't know, do I want to say it or do I want to just keep hoping? So this morning I woke up and I wasn't feeling well. I'm very tired and grumpy. And just now went to the toilet and I think I have my period. So it means that it didn't work. I've just dropped Will off at work, and I know I should be calling the clinic now to let them know that I think we've lost the embryo, but it's kind of all hit me at once right now, just how hard this is to deal with and just how lonely I feel right now. There's a lot of things that are triggering me, making me need to hold back my tears. Just opening the fridge this morning to make my breakfast and seeing all the boxes of all the injections that I've had to do, and having to go to the shops to buy sanitary products, waking up to text messages from friends just asking me how I am, and I don't want to reply. I have meetings today and I've already cancelled because I don't want to be there. I'm finding it hard to keep up appearances with people when not a lot of people know what's going on. And at the same time, I don't feel like I have anyone that understands when I do tell them what's going on. I only know one person that has been through this. Panko's helping a lot. I really, really love my friends. I love my girlfriends, but nobody has been through this, and it's just really hard to talk about. And as much as they try and be supportive and help by saying things like, oh, don't worry, you're young, you have plenty of time. In my instance, with my condition, premature ovarian aging, time really isn't on my side. So my biological age really has nothing to do with it. I don't really know what I expect like friends or anyone to say to make it better. I kind of feel right now like nothing makes things better. And just saying it out loud is hard. But I think it helps. This is a part
part of my life that I'm going to find really, really difficult to share with other people. But I do think that when you share moments of vulnerability like this, that it can help people that may be going through the same thing, and it may offer perspective for people who haven't. And that's the only reason why I'm recording this. But it's really, really, really hard. I can't believe that it's been a year since we've started trying to have a family, and a lot of people go through so much worse and go through the process much longer than we have. And I just can't imagine the strength that it takes to go through that, because this is only our first cycle and I'm really struggling through it. Before I dropped Will off, he asked me how I'm feeling today, and I really don't want him to see me this hurt. I know he's my husband and I should be able to share everything, but I don't want him to feel the pain that I am. And I've only told my really close friends what I'm going through, and some of them were really excited for me at the beginning of this process when I told them that I was seeing a specialist and we were finally going to go through IVF, and they were really happy for me, and their reaction was, "I'm so excited." And for some reason, for those really excited and supportive friends, I find it harder to tell them, because it feels like an even bigger disappointment to tell someone who's excited for you that there's no happy ending. Something that's really difficult for me right now is that I haven't actually told my parents yet, because I feel like they're going to be really stressed and worried for me, and I don't want them to be. But I just really want to see them and hug them